Hello, my name is Anna Forliti, and I decided to put this video together just to give you more information about what postural healing is and how it helps to eliminate pain, how it helps people to move more cleanly through their joints and just feel better and be overall healthier. So I guess my journey in terms of how I got here, sharing this work with other people, I had chronic pain back in my 20s. The typical things were not working for me. So I was getting chiropractic adjustments, I was getting massages, and although those things have beautiful benefits, they were not addressing the underlying cause, which for me, as you can see in this lovely photo, was definitely postural. So my head jutted forward quite a bit, a lot of upper rounding in that upper back. You can just see my whole cervical spine, my neck and head are completely out of position. And that's just a snapshot of the upper body. There were other postural components going on. And so that was resulting in low back pain, upper back pain, neck pain and tension, that once I was introduced to the concept of posture and how it relates to pain, I was able to then address those underlying causes, which all of my symptoms started to disappear after doing this posture work. So it's a tool that I have used for myself personally for the last 20 years. I enjoy the exercises and they've allowed me to stay healthy and active to prevent injury. There's been a few times over the years where I've done something, injured my back, and been able to heal really quickly within a day or two because of these exercises. So I'm super passionate about them. I live it and I like to share it with other people because there's so many people in pain, and it makes me happy to see people have that shift to feeling good in their body again and being able to get back to the things that they love. What is postural alignment therapy? Postural alignment therapy is a tool that I use within postural healing to look at the body, see where there are imbalances, and then start to use different exercises and movements to recreate muscular balance so that the joints are stacked and aligned, so that we eliminate that grinding in the joints, pressure on the discs. Muscles are happier because they're not having to compensate for other muscles that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So the exercises that we use are a combination of passive exercises where gravity is doing a lot of the work of shifting things, changing, like allowing the fascia to change. And then there are active exercises where you're really feeling into a movement, reconnecting to your body, noticing where your imbalances are. And then that becomes a lifelong tool for you to be able to feel when things are out of alignment and then be able to change that and shift into alignment when you need to. Our focus is really to try, again, I mentioned this in the last slide, but to try to bring the body as close as possible back to design posture. And what we mean by that is from the front view, if we were to draw a line down the center of the body, we have mostly two of everything, and there should be somewhat of a symmetry there. So we want to see that balance right to left. So from the front, we want to see feet and knees pointed straight ahead. We want to see shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles all stacked and aligned and level, because as soon as one of those pieces is off, it affects the entire chain. Everything is connected. We want to see thumb and index finger because that indicates a healthy kind of shoulder girdle and shoulder blade position in the body. From the side view, and you've probably seen something like this, but ideally we want that ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, and ear alignment, which is going to create a nice dynamic tension from front to back, which is going to help you hold yourself up against gravity. So as soon as that head comes forward, like in the image, that photo of me that I showed from my 20s, that head comes forward and that extra weight in the front is just going to be taken over time with gravity. And those compensations will continue to happen. Plus the muscles on the backside then have to overwork to hold you up against gravity. Finally, we want to maintain a natural S-curve of the spine, and that is just to help remain upright and balanced, take the impact from all the activities that you do, and just maintain a healthy flexibility of the spine. Some potential signs of postural misalignment. One obvious one is chronic pain. So joint pain, neck pain, migraines, back pain. Sometimes people will have nerve issues. So there's all kinds of different pain issues that people come to me with. Also, another sign is any imbalances that you notice in your body. So sometimes people will notice one shoulder sits higher, or one hip sits higher, or they've been told they have a longer leg. So all those little things that you notice in your body are a sign of misalignment. Sometimes people will just talk about feeling uncomfortable in their body, like they just don't feel comfortable sitting or standing or moving. Movement and gait is another indicator of misalignment. So when you walk, something doesn't feel smooth or balanced, or you notice you're limping or veering off to one side, an unequal arm swing, all of those things can also indicate that there is some imbalance happening in the body. Mobility issues, not being able to turn your head to look over your shoulder, easily get up and down off the floor, reaching up overhead. So there's a lot of different things. Some things might be more subtle. It might be in certain exercises that you do or yoga poses that you do where you notice that it's maybe easier on one side than the other. Again, those are just imbalances and oftentimes are things that can be shifted. Another sign would be poor balance, low energy levels. When our posture is out of alignment, it can affect our mood. It can affect the functioning of all of our body systems. So if you think about where your organs sit relative to each other and to gravity in a healthy body and a healthy posture where things are aligned, you can imagine things move smoothly and efficiently. However, and you can even try this in your body, if you're in a slouch or things are twisted, it's going to be harder for all of those systems to speak to each other. And just in terms of gravity, if they're positioned where they're not designed to be, then it's just going to make it harder for things to move through. So one important aspect of this work is that we really focus on the body as a whole. So the body functions as a unit, everything is connected, and rarely is the site of pain the cause of pain. So what this means is when we just go at the site of pain and try to rehab a specific area, we're completely ignoring the whole picture. So this diagram is just a super simplified diagram of what happens when one piece is off and how it affects all the different parts of the body. And so it's figuring out, like, where is the cause? How do we get this body into more balance so that all of the pieces can start to move more into alignment? So here's just like a kind of more, I guess, localized diagram of what we just saw. So in that last slide, you saw how one thing shifting off can affect the entire body. Here we're looking at a joint. And so when, say, muscles are tight on one side and looser on the other, you can see how it changes the positioning of that joint, which makes you more prone to wearing away at cartilage, to degeneration. And you can see how you're more prone to injury or chronic pain when this happens. So again, this work is going to help to rebalance the muscle so the joints can sit nice and aligned and you move more cleanly through the joints. So you have more efficient movement, which can not only just help you to move better, but also it can improve athletic performance. Let's see here. So here's just some examples of before and after photos so you can get an idea of how this works, like the results that it creates. So this is on the left-hand side, you'll see day 1 and then 8 months later. So you can see in that first image, there's some flexion in the knees are bent, a little bit flexed at the hips, so the hips are bent forward at the hips, a little bit of rounding and head forward position in the upper back. And then if you look at the second photo, you're gonna just see how much nicer that ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, and ear line up. So yeah, so that is all an effect of doing posture exercises on a daily basis to recreate that muscle balance we were talking about so that the joints can line up. Here's another example. So this is just a view from the back. So this is day 1 and then three months later. And so you can see in this first one, there's some spinal conditions going on here. So you can see in the first image, there's some kind of, the spine is protruding a little bit in the back. So you can see that. You can see the shoulders rounding forward and the hands hidden in front of the thighs a little bit. And then if you look at that second image, you can see how the shoulders are much more open and there's no longer that protruding spine in the back. So we have, through the exercises, created more balance to give that spine more length and space. And then if we look at the side view, again, the first photo on the left is the before photo. And you can see there's quite a bit of curvature there in that back and head forward position. And then if you look at the second set of photos, again, we've got much closer to that ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, and ear alignment. So you can see if you look at the torso, if you look at the chest and belly area, you can see in that first photo how everything is compressed. And then looking at the second photo, how it's much more lengthened through the abdomen and chest area there, which is just gonna allow this individual to be able to breathe better. Digestion's gonna happen better, on top of giving the body the space to heal from pain. So basically, I just like people to know that your posture is your foundation. So it is the basic structure that allows us to sit, to stand, to move. So if that foundation is not solid, if it's not aligned, then it's hard to have healthy movement that comes from that. So healthy movement requires muscular balance and joint alignment, which is what this work is helping you to gain. And the alignment of your body, as we talked about earlier, affects your entire being. So hopefully that was a good just kind of introduction to what this work is. If you have any questions or you want to understand how this might relate to whatever you have going on, whether it's pain or movement issues or posture issues, definitely set up a 15-minute clarity call and you can have an opportunity to ask questions and learn more to see if postural healing is a fit for you.